Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're watching Out Here in the Redwoods. I'm your host, Denise Riles. Aloha means hello and goodbye. Come out wherever you are. Now, tonight we have an exciting show for you. We have Mr. Allan Dollison returning with us tonight. Welcome, aloha.
Welcome, aloha, Denise. How are you?
Well, I'm very good. It has been a busy year for you.
It has.
And it's not done yet.
No, it's not. I got a big exercise that I'm working on right now, and I'm glad to be here to talk about it.
Fantastic. Not only do you practice law,
yes,
you are the vice president of the board of directors of Stand Down.
Correct.
Fantastic. So tell me all about that. What's happening?
Stand down is a military term. It literally means it's a respite from battle, kind of developed from the old Revolutionary Civil War era. And what it means in modern terms is it's an event that is a service fair for veterans. We provide needed services that veterans that might need, things like dental care, haircuts. We give free clothing, food, massages, healing, spiritual healing, you name it, whatever service is possible, including employment assistance. We always have employment development department out there, as well as employers that might be interested in hiring our veterans. So it's a 3-day effort. We put it on. This is the 9th annual Stand Down.
Ninth annual. So this has been going on 9 years.
It's been going on 9 years, yeah, since 2005. So we're very, very excited about it. We've had an amazing year. Mona Daly, our president of our board, has just been outstanding in terms of the fundraising she's done. We just hosted a successful dinner. We raised $20,000. And that money, which comes from our community, will be put back in to help the veterans. We're buying gear. We bought new cots this year for the veterans that want to stay there, and we're going to buy gear, things like sleeping bags, clothing, cooking kits, you name it. Designed certainly to help our homeless veterans, but any veteran is welcome along with their family to come out to this event. It'll be a great event, and we hope new veterans that have not been there will come out to it.
Yeah. Just your opinion. I want to know, why do you think we have homeless veterans? I'm serious. It's like, they paid. What's happening out there? Give us a new clue.
You know, I think, well, certainly there's things that can happen in your military service that can affect your ability to function and in a normal way in society. And so I think that there's always that piece. Certainly things that happened in the Vietnam War, and it's a mistake to believe that it's all just the new veterans, it's also the older veterans. There's things that could happen that certain veterans were not able to adjust to society. They just have seen some of the horrors, some of the worst things that humans can ever see and encounter, and people have adjustment times and difficult dealing with that, and they fail to reach out for help. So we are offering our help in so many different ways, in so many different methods, to say, we're here to offer these services for you, we're here to help you, we want you to talk about your problems, we want you to feel kinship with other veterans. And that will play a role in helping people. And I know, I have met homeless veterans that the North Coast Stand Down has rescued, and they're no longer homeless, and they're on their way to recovery, they're on the way to back to being functioning members of society, and that's what we hope for.
Wow. So how many veterans do you see at North Coast Stand Down?
It varies every year. Last year the numbers were down a little bit. We did it a different part of the month. But we will probably see anywhere from 350 to up to 500 veterans.
And that's just in our area.
And that's just in our area.
Wow.
There's not a requirement that you live in Humboldt County, but obviously we target Humboldt County in terms of our outreach. It's one of the reasons why I'm on this program. But I'll be going on Jefferson Exchange. I just secured that on September 22nd, that NPR station that broadcasts from Oregon here into Humboldt County. So we're doing a lot of outreach, but we could have as many as 500 veterans. A lot of these stand downs, they do them up and down the state of California. They no longer do 3-day events. So we're one of the last remaining 3-day events here. And one of the amazing things that we do is we offer pet services. We get local veterinarians that come out. We get, deflea stuff and various medicines, and we offer care for the veterans and their pets, because they care sometimes as much about that pet more than their own personal well-being. And so that's an important service, and we're really glad to help that. And we're one of the unique stand-downs to offer pet services. Bob Gelder, he's on our board, and he's been the spearhead for that and just does an amazing job providing services for veterans and their pets.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you say to the veteran? Because I live in an area where I see people all the time, and one guy, he told me he was a vet, and and I said, well, why don't you go to stand down?
Right.
He goes, well, I don't need charity. What do you say to that guy or gal? What, to get them to go? Because it sounds like a worthy time that they can bond and.
Right. One of the things I would say is if you want to go one day, you could go to the event to find out what it's about, and then the next day you could help out. That's one thing. We have coordinators that used to be people that just used to be volunteers. We have veterans that go that are also working to put together the exercise. Obviously, I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
And
that's why you're giving back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think what we would tell is that the veteran that goes, I think they all go for different reasons. But the one thing that veterans like doing is they love hanging around each other. They love telling their stories. They love talking about their experiences, or what they did in their wartime service, what they did in their service, and they love, Navy people like to hang out with Navy people, Army people like to hang out with Army people.
Sure.
And the stand down is a great opportunity to build those kinship, and a lot of them know each other, and it's wonderful to see them. Hey, they see each other, and it's not just all men; it's women too. So I would urge people to go to build that community, to build that friendship structure, and to see what it's about. It's not all about charity, but it's also about that kinship and enjoying the event and hanging out with other veterans.
Yeah. And is that seems to be the biggest need, just to have kinship? Is that what people are really, the homeless veterans are really wanting?
Well, I think if somebody's truly homeless, they do need our services. Because somebody that's homeless, they're not getting to see the dentist on a regular basis. We're going to have 2 dental vans. We're hoping to have 4 dentists out there providing dental care. And they're not just doing teeth cleaning. They're doing major dental type work that are needed. And one of the dentists, she says, oh, you're a veteran, just come to the stand down and I'll take care of it, because they don't have proper insurance, that sort of thing. So I think we offer transitional living assistance at the North Coast Veterans Resource Center. The executive director of that is on our board, Jennifer Mogg. And so if you truly are homeless, you need to come to the event, because that person does need help. And I don't think, the former Secretary of the Veterans Affairs Department, General Shincheki, said, we want to eliminate homelessness among the veteran population by 2015. So we got another year left. Well, he's no longer the Secretary of the VA, of course.
Wow.
But we want to do something about that. And so anybody that is homeless, we're doing as much outreach as possible to make sure that they come to the event. But if you're not homeless, there's so much that they can enjoy. We're going to have entertainment. We're going to have a raffle. We got local bands that help out. Many of them are veterans.
Oh, cool.
And so we're going to have that. We're even going to have a movie night where they can sit there, and we're getting a large projector, and they can watch movies and enjoy movies. And have popcorn. We're going to have a popcorn machine there. So it's just, you name it. We have tri-tip, we have turkey dinner, really great food. The Sons of Italy, they do a spaghetti feed.
Sweet.
I believe in the event, and I want to provide help for those veterans. And what one veteran may want out of the event is not what another veteran may want.
Sure.
And so I really encourage everybody to come to check it out, see what's unique about it, and take part in it and enjoy.
Now, how long have you been a part of all this?
I've been on the board since 2010. I've been helping out since 2008. And I've been going there, and when I worked in the DA's office, I set up a booth for the DA's office, to help people with legal issues, and I'm going to recruit some attorneys to help out with that, because that's a necessary piece, and people have all kinds of different legal needs and legal help. But we're going to have over 50 service providers. So I've been involved both the first year I just attended it in 07. And I said, this is really great, and I'm really excited to be involved in this. And they just kept noticing me being around, and they said, hey, we'd like you to be more involved. And so I've been pleased to be on the board since 2010. And I served as president of the board for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So within your interaction, how have you seen it change and grow?
I've seen it change and grow because we've got new people,
Okay.
people that want to get involved. Mona Daly was not involved when I first came, and then she got involved in 2012, and she's just done amazing work in terms of raising funds. We're partially funded by grants, but those grants have been getting harder and harder to get because
Right.
the cutbacks in the government. So it's important that we self-fund, and we're more successful at doing that now. So we do have new people. And there's never ending an idea for services. And so if somebody's got a service to provide, we've got a group that wants to teach people horse therapy and working
Horse
with
therapy.
and working with horses. And they've reached out to us, and we're probably not going to have the horses this year,
Right.
but what we're going to do is they're going to have a booth there, and they're going to offer that, and that's something that's really, really exciting.
Wow.
So-
Well, what about dog therapy too? I mean,
Absolutely,
you're,
yeah.
you're talking about doing the fleeing and stuff like that.
Right, exactly, yeah, and that's a way to deal with PTSD, which sadly too many veterans have.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we're looking at as well. You know, having a therapy dog.
Yeah.
You know, volunteers that might want to work around pets, they can come out and work in the pet services. It's one of the most popular places to work.
Nice. Nice. This sounds like a great. Now, when and where is this happening? I want to make sure we get that.
Exactly. It's happening out at the Humboldt County Fairgrounds out in Ferndale. Starts Friday, October the 3rd. I think we open the gates at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And then it ends on Sunday, October the 5th. But this is very important. Services are only available Friday, October the 3rd, and Saturday, October the 4th.
Okay.
So Sunday, we do the gear issue, and we give sack lunches and that sort of thing, but that's mostly our shutdown day. So if they want the services, they got to come either the 3rd or the 4th, and typically Saturday the 4th is the more heavily attended day. So the Friday the 3rd, if they can get off of work, that would be a good day to come.
Wow. And do you need donations or what?
Always
What
need-
can we do as a community to help you support
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. Always need donations. Go to our website. Our website is northcoaststanddown.org.
Okay.
Northcoaststanddown.org. If you were to Google North Coast Stand Down, that would come up. And there's a direct way of making a donation. You can also sign up to be a volunteer. And you can also sign up to be a service provider. And then it'll go to the appropriate person that's responsible for those different areas. But donations, clothing, I think we're in good shape in clothing. We've got some amazing people that are working in the clothing department. We've got just unbelievable amounts of clothing. And we've got suits, leisure clothing, I mean, you name it, because a suit might be helpful for a veteran in terms of getting a job and that sort of thing. So we're going to be offering a wide selection and variety of clothing. And clothing is obviously something you know about. And,
Yes.
And,
Little.
and how important it is to look a particular way.
Yeah.
So-
So do you have like barbers and stuff there too?
We do, yeah. Charles Beauty College, which is over, over off of, I think it's on F Street or T
Right.
Street. They come every year, and they offer free haircuts for veterans and their family members. And that's really, really important because they want to clean them up and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so we're very proud to offer haircuts, and every veteran gets useful to, understanding and remembering what it was like getting that haircut. So it's a little nicer with the Charles Beauty College students.
And the transformation can be incredible
It can, absolutely.
and change your whole perspective.
Right. The VA will be out there and offering help and assistance. A lot of veterans don't realize what services and what benefits that they're eligible for, and that's why we have the VA out there providing that kind of information. There have been people that were entitled to something, they didn't know about it, and we got them that benefit. And so I'm very, very excited about that. And in some respects, even if the veteran has passed, the family member may be eligible for that. And so we played a role in that. So really just providing information. We can do a lot for the veterans because there's a lot of services that are out there, but they have to know how to reach out and get those services. And we're going to have those resident experts at the event that are going to help the veterans.
Nice. And you're not alone. Speaking of family, you brought your lovely family over
Yeah.
here tonight. Hi, everybody.
Yep.
Now, do you have an outreach for the family? You talked about PTSD, and I believe
Yes.
that's a really real thing.
Absolutely.
Do veterans help other family members help their fellow or lady veteran? understand what the person may be going through?
Obviously, there's some confidentiality when
Well,
when you're
yes.
talking in a treatment type relationship.
yeah.
But if a veteran goes there with his family and identifies that as something, then we can get them connected. Maybe not necessarily at the site,
they
to
can
provide that
be
treatment,
directed.
but they can be directed. We can get them to the proper service. If they're a war veteran, they qualify for free counseling at the Eureka Vet Center, which is over on G Street. But they have to be a veteran of a war in order to get that service.
Okay.
But that a lot of times that's a key component in the PTSD, of course, because PTSD used to be shell shock from the Civil War days, of course.
Well, yeah,
Right.
of course.
And we also provide children and family services.
Okay, good.
So veterans are encouraged to bring their children. And they have games and punch and cake and drawing and you name it, all kinds of different things. So we do provide services for the family member. And almost all the services are available for the veterans' family members. The dental, which is such a high priority, we ask that only be for the veteran, just because there's only so many patients that they can see that day, and that's such a high need.
Well,
Plays a real important role in the health of the veteran.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a success story, if you can, through this stand down. You said you got somebody off the streets.
Right. Well, I
Let us-
certainly don't want to get into names, but
No, of course not, but-
But we've gotten several people that we've gotten them benefits. We've if they're homeless, we've gotten them connected up with the North Coast Veterans Resource Center, which is out on 4th Street, right near the co-op, and that provides transitional housing. They're allowed to live there. And provide some assistance in terms of getting employment. Some of them end up actually working there, working with, so we've had a lot of work and success, and that's why we partnered with North Coast Veterans Resource Center. It's actually run by Vietnam veterans, the Vietnam Veterans of America and the California Vietnam Veterans. They run that, and they're grant funded, of course, by the VA. But we've had a lot of work and a lot of success with that. We really would like to reach out to the younger veterans, certainly my generation that served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right.
And we want them to feel that they can participate. And every year we get newer, younger veterans, which I'm encouraged by, because they're going to have particular problems that the Vietnam and even Korean War, and we even get World War II veterans. We do. So it's really, really, really important that we get those newer veterans, because that's a group that I'm very concerned about, having served with that class.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Are the Vietnam veterans, because I think they would understand the younger ones better. Are they kind of helping their younger brothers and sisters in arms?
I think they are. I think that they went through certainly a different set of situations.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems, obviously, with Vietnam veterans is the disastrous way they were treated when they came back from the war. Really despicable. Whatever you thought of the Vietnam War, they were doing their job. They were defending their country, and we should never treat people like that ever again. And I think we did learn our lesson like that. And my class of veterans has not had to go through that, which I'm very, very happy. So,
Good.
but Vietnam veterans do play that role of reaching out to the younger veterans and making sure that they know what they went through. And I think that difference of experience can sometimes be helpful to one veteran that's struggling with the problems that they encountered in their service. And so I think it is important to build that kinship and feel that connection between veterans of a different war.
Yeah, yeah. But this only happens once a year. But how can we, as civilians and community members, help on a daily basis? What do we need to know that could help if we see a homeless veteran out there?
I would certainly, the most important thing if we see a homeless veteran is get them to the North Coast Veterans Resource Center, which is on 4th Street right next to the co-op.
Okay.
Very, very, very important that they seek that. And I think I'm pretty sure it's 109 4th Street, but I'm not 100%, but it's 4th and right there next to the co-op. And get them to that outfit, because if they're homeless, they do not need to be a veteran of a war to live there. They will be intaked, and we can get them a place to live, because they're not at full capacity, which is amazing, because we know we have homeless veterans, and they need more people there. So I would definitely say get to that. The next thing I would say is explore the VA and make sure that the VA is taking care of them and providing them whatever assistance that they qualify for and whatever assistance that they need. You know, the Vietnam, you know, you talk a lot about the issue of providing medical care within the VA, and that's certainly a hot issue right now on the national level.
Yeah, national level, that's
But
right.
a lot of that are the Vietnam veterans, because a lot of them are getting ill. They're suffering from diseases that are unique just to that conflict, and so I think it's very, very important that they get into that system and making sure that they get treated by the VA and they get that care that they need. And so I would certainly say North Coast Veterans Resource Center, the VA, and if they're a veteran of a war, they qualify for free counseling over at the Vet Center.
Right.
And those places will basically fix those basic problems. It takes a year to put on this event.
Yeah.
So anybody that experiences it or wants to help out, you know, we have monthly planning meetings. We're having bi-monthly planning meetings as we're getting close to the event, and spreading emails. Today we made a decision to buy 200 pairs of socks, so we make sure that everybody's going to get a fresh pair of socks, or at least
cool.
2 pairs of socks. And so we have the funds available to do that, and so we're going to do that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Wow. This has been a labor of love for you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's not just for me. There's many, many, many other people. I mentioned Bob Gelder, been involved with it since the very, very beginning. Kermit Thabobbin, he's our treasurer. He's also on the board. And he was one of the original founders. And so he's still been doing it since for all these years. And both of them are veterans. So.
Oh, fantastic. Wow, and it takes a village to put something on.
Absolutely.
And a village to take care of a veteran.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because it's a community-based veterans helping veterans.
Right.
And obviously not everybody are a veteran that's involved in it. A lot of them have a connection to a veteran, and that does that motivation. But we really need to keep together and to work really hard to provide these services.
Now, within this service, do you have things to help them get work?
Yes. Generally we have anywhere from 5 to 7 employers.
Really?
There's a company based in Arcata that is one of the primary manufacturer of the boats that Navy SEALs use, at least parts of those boats.
Here in our area?
Here in our area, yeah, absolutely, in Arcata. And they're out every year and recruiting, and they've been able to hire people there. This year, UPS has been actively involved, and you know, they're a very veterans-friendly company, and so we're really excited about partnering with them and working closely with UPS. So we'll have employers that will be out there, and of course we'll have Employment Development Department out there as well, because they are uniquely tailored to provide certain programs for veterans that are looking for employment.
Wow, wow. And I understand Eric Hollenbeck at the Blue Ox is trying to start a school just for veterans.
I've heard about that, yeah. I think that's great. Yeah, Blue Ox Millworks, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be building the replica of Lincoln's funeral carriage.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he says, and maybe you can agree or expand on this, that he thinks that a veteran should be known for doing something else.
Sure.
You know, because he's dealing with Vietnam veterans as well. And
Absolutely.
he says that's what they're known for, being a Vietnam vet.
Right.
But by building this, working with their hands.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gives them confidence, gives them a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And that kinship of working together. So I just think that's great. And I encourage Eric to come out to our event, and he's welcome to have a table there and describe what he's doing and bring that information, because it'll be a great way for him to advertise what he's trying to do. It'll be the single best source of interaction with veterans, you know, throughout the county of Humboldt, unless you were to wait outside the VA clinic.
So where do you see the North Coast Stand Down expanding to from here?
You know, one of the things I think is one of my passions. We're working hard. We get a donation from a fellow who was a World War II veteran. He passed. His wife donates $500 every year. He was an optician, and he did that as his profession. And we'd like to be able to offer those services, so eyeglass prescriptions could be developed. We haven't quite unlocked the puzzle on that one, but we're working really hard on that. because we need a mobile lab in order to provide that. So, I mean, there's any service, things like what you just mentioned. I mean, that would be a great, if he wants to help with veterans and advertise his effort. I think that would be a great program. And a great way of reaching that. So any service, anybody that would like to reach the veterans, that people that serve their country, work very hard, are dedicated, know the value of hard work, know what time commitment is, know what it's like to be on time, and know what it's like to work together as a team. I mean, those are all important characteristics that any employer is going to want, any organization is going to want. So if they're looking for those types of people, our event is a great way to get involved in that.
And what is a telephone number they can call?
Telephone number, you know what? We don't really have an office.
Okay,
so
but they can reach you on your web address.
They can reach you on a web address, exactly. There's contact information, northcoaststanddown.org, and then they will send an email. But we're, all of our resources go for the event. We don't have any overhead, we don't have any staff. This is all people volunteering their time. And volunteering quite a bit of their own money. I've donated quite a bit over the years, to the event as well, and so is Mona and many other veterans have. So, but the web is a good way to reach us, and somebody will get back in touch with them. If they have a band, there's a box to check, and that will go to our entertainment coordinator.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
This is a great thing. Thank you, Allan, for coming and talking to us about that.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, North Coast Stand Down, October 3rd, Redwood, Ferndale.
Ferndale.
Let's not say
Humboldt County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Humboldt County Fairgrounds. Be there. You've been watching Out Here in the Redwoods with Mr. Dollison and family. I'm your host, Denise Riles. See you next time. Aloha.